Liverpool are out of the FA Cup after a 2-1 defeat to Brighton, as the Seagulls proved to be a thorn in Jurgen Klopp's side. In today's video, we will discuss the 5 things we learned from the match, whilst also give you the big Liverpool news that could affect our season, whilst also going over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to cover in today's video. And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Before we get into today's video, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Liverpool are open to a deal for 5th choice centre-back Nat Phillips before Tuesday's deadline, with a surprise front-runner emerging this weekend. With the recall of Reece Williams from his loan at Blackpool, Phillips has been made available for transfer in the final days of the window. Southampton, Bournemouth and Benfica all attempted moves in the summer, but there was no suggestion of repeat interest mid-season. The Athletic's James Pearce has now reported that Galatasaray are leading the race for the 25-year-old, despite clubs from the Bundesliga also making contact. Phillips is said to be open to the idea of making a move to Istanbul with the front-runners Galatasaray, who are currently top of Super League. It is claimed there are 3 options when it comes to a deal, with a permanent transfer, a loan-to-buy deal, and a straight loan all up for discussion. Turning 26 in March and following temporary spells with Stuttgart and Bournemouth, it would arguably be the best for Phillips to depart on a permanent basis, with Liverpool valuing him at around £10 million. However, Galatasaray have only ever spent £10 million on a player in their history once, that being Mario Jardel in 2000. That makes the Turkish side meeting Phillips' price tag unlikely, though Okan Burk's squad is particularly short of a centre-back options at present. Phillips was kept at Liverpool for the first half of the season following injuries to Joel Matip and Konate, making the matchday squad on 24 occasions. But with Williams now back on Merseyside and available in emergency, the club are seemingly willing to allow their number 47 to depart in pursuit of regular first-team football. Just a quick one guys, before we get back into the video, I just want to let you know that we're having a January sale over at our website for all our Liverpool merchandise on kloppsclothing.com. The link is down there in the description. We have some new pieces coming out in February, but until then, go have a look at the old collection. As I said, it's on kloppsclothing.com or down into the link in the description. Thank you, let's get back into the video. After yesterday's defeat, Jurgen Klopp provided some huge news that affects the rest of our season. The manager has ruled out any further signings before the January transfer deadline on Tuesday night, insisting nothing will happen. With the January transfer window still open until 11 PM on Tuesday night, there were still hopes that Liverpool could add to a misshapen and struggling squad as their rivals continue to strengthen. But perhaps as expected, Klopp has moved to rule out any more additions beyond the £44 million signing of Cody Gakpo from PSV Eindhoven. He told BN Sports after the loss against Brighton, No, nothing will happen in this transfer window, that's all good. Liverpool are still due to conduct business, but only in terms of outgoings, with Nat Phillips as mentioned earlier being linked away, and also a number of youngsters could also head out on loan, but fans yearning for another newcomer, namely in the midfield, would be left disappointed. Of course, Klopp's words could be a part of the brinkmanship of this late window period, having answered the question with a smile. Realistically though, they should be taken at face value as there is no indication Liverpool will make any more signings. As we mentioned in the intro, Liverpool have exited the FA Cup as Brighton inflicted another defeat on Jurgen Klopp's out-of-form side, with us only winning 1 out of our last 6 games. In this part of the video, we'll discuss the 5 things we learned from Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. We fall short but have improved. Jurgen Klopp made just 1 change to the team that drew with Chelsea last weekend as Trent Alexander-Arnold replaced James Milner. It was a real show of faith for the likes of Joe Gomez, Stefan Bajcetic and Naby Keita, who justified their selection despite the result. For much of the game, Liverpool actually looked like a functioning football team again, looking compact off of the ball and more cohesive on it. With Fabinho and Jordan Henderson again axed, the midfield was vibrant in the hounding of Brighton, that only really changed when substitutions were made, which I'll touch on later. Meanwhile, Konate was excellent at the heart of defence, coping well with the constant movement and interchanging of the Seagulls' attack. Liverpool have had very little stability this season with injuries again hurting them, but this team is starting to feel more settled. This is still a far cry from the Reds we've adored watching in recent years, but there were signs of encouragement regardless of the eventual result. Promising outing from Gakpo. It's fair to say that Cody Gakpo's first few appearances for Liverpool were uninspiring, with the Dutchman looking every bit a new signing coming into a struggling side. On Sunday, however, he produced comfortably his most promising performance for the Reds so far. There were shades of Roberto Firmino about Cody Gakpo's game as he dropped deep, held the ball up and linked with Mohamed Salah and Harvey Elliott effectively. This helped play a part in the latter opening the scoring as he drifted in behind after space was created by his teammate. There were even some exciting turns of pace from Gakpo too as he wriggled through tackles and picked the right pass, with his influence increasing as each minute ticked by. While this was by no means a masterclass from him, it was a display that showed what he can bring to the team, combining strength, touch and intelligence. Elliott in fine form. After scoring the winner in Liverpool's third-round replay against Wolves, Elliott continued his fine FA Cup form with another strike, this time against Brighton at the Amex Stadium. The 19-year-old had a couple of opportunities to score before he eventually struck in the 30th minute. A flowing Liverpool attack was finished off by Elliott as he slotted the ball low into the bottom corner after being played through by Mohamed Salah. It was a finish of a man in confidence, and Elliott is starting to get back to his best, having played in every game for the Reds this term. He is the only player in the Liverpool squad to do so, and Elliott is also becoming a key cog in Klopp's will heading into the second half of the campaign. Subs backfire. Early in the second half, Liverpool were doing largely well, holding their own against the Brighton side who were purring at the moment. Then Klopp decided to ring the changes, and not for the first time this season, all organisations seemed to evaporate. James Milner and Jordan Henderson brought little energy to proceedings, also not offering enough quality. No sub created a single chance, while Darwin Núñez's use of the ball left a lot to be desired. Then there was Fabinho's latest inept cameo, with the Brazilian's first touch a loose one that put Liverpool in trouble, before a dreadful tackle on Evan Ferguson that deserved a red card. Of all the struggling Reds players this season, the Brazilian's drop-off is the most alarming, even as a sub he looks miles off the pace these days. Klopp's use of substitution has not been good enough all season long, and that didn't change on Sunday. He brought on senior players to win or at least see the game out, but instead all they did was conspire to make the team's performance worse, more fuel for the overhaul that's needed. No need for an overreaction. Yes, going out of any competition is ultimately disappointing, but there's no need for fans to overreact simply because of the result. As mentioned, the all-around performance was good before the subs were made, with the midfield the biggest positive, and the same players should be retained moving forward. Núñez needs to return, however, having returned to full fitness, while there could be arguments for bringing in Joel Matip and Joe Gomez, who didn't cover themselves in glory, for the late winner. Losing away to Brighton is no great shock these days, especially when confidence is low and injuries are a problem, and the most important thing is to focus on the positives. Next up is a trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers next weekend. If Liverpool perform at a similar level and Klopp improves his changes, there is every chance that we'll be celebrating 3 much-needed points. Liverpool fans, what do you make of Jurgen Klopp's decision to not sign any more players this transfer window? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. Please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Remember, we're having a January sale on all our Liverpool merchandise, so do go down into the link in the description or go to copyclothing.com. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.